It's so fluffy, I'm gonna die.
Oh my god. Let's talk about it.
It's so fluffy. Let's talk about it.
What's up? What's up, gamers? Actually, this episode is incredibly off the rails already. We should just, close our laptops and just walk away.
All right. We're doing it.
All right, bye.
And we're back. Hey guys, I'm Connor.
Hi everyone, I'm Kylen.
And shit, we didn't think this far through. Maybe we do this better whenever we're just wasted.
Speaking of wasted, Connor, what are you drinking this evening?
All right, so I am out of Bailey's in my apartment.
No.
So I've made just hazelnut iced coffee that has Kahlua and rum in it. So it's like the bastard child of the coffee registered trademark that I normally drink, and mine, our beloved R Squeeze fight milk recipe. But what are you drinking?
Well, I have a dual drink situation going on.
Okay.
I'm still trying to finish off the brandy from whenever TSB and I made mulled wine. So I have like brandy and Coke. But my stomach has been fighting with me all evening and has not been very receptive to the alcohol. So I'm mostly drinking water. This is probably going to be one of my most sober episodes, surprisingly. I know I'm not acting that sober, but I'm not that drunk. Something about this podcast makes me incredibly goofy. But yeah, that's the sitch over here.
All right. And yeah, so today I have played a lot of Pokemon. I've played a lot of Pokemon Go.
Oh, and it was so incredibly cute.
Lots of cute little animal. My little Eevee with his little mohawk.
Little bean.
He got a little bean. He got a little toe bean. And we named him Bean. Oh, it was so cute.
I'm very excited to get my copy. It's in the mail right now. I also got Let's Go Eevee, and TSB picked up Let's Go Pikachu and has been playing that. I guess since it came out yesterday now, and he's already to Lavender Town, so
Time to get spoopy.
It's not a hard game, and it's not even really groundbreaking necessarily, but god damn it, it's cute and it's fun.
It's cute and wholesome.
Yeah.
But speaking of cute and wholesome things, we were going to talk about some pets in D&D and other games and stuff. Pets and followers,
familiars, small creatures,
companions,
what have you.
All the joy of having actions in combat, but without the bulkiness of carrying around a character sheet.
Oh, God, true.
So, you and I played a little game today.
We did. Wow. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So, we record these on Saturday.
Oh my God, this so behind the scenes.
Well, we already said exactly what day this is coming out, so.
Yeah, we're not very slick about it. We're just like, oh, new content coming soon, and we record the episode that night. Zero slickness, zero smoothness.
And it'll come out at some point whenever I edit it and process it, but no. That's Sober Connor's job. Although I'm kind of Sober Connor too at the moment.
No. This is Tipsy Connor. Tipsy Connor. We have the best of both worlds, as Hannah Montana / Miley Cyrus would say.
Oh God. Shit. What was I saying?
Okay, so yes, before all this, we were talking about how we played a game today.
Yes, we have played our Dragon Knights game on Pro Restarter. We're getting close to the halfway point of this second season.
Yeah.
Where you have a wonderful little friend.
Oh, should you put like a spoiler warning just in case? Spoiler.
Yeah, so spoiler. If you have not gotten to if you haven't gotten to season 2, episode 4 of Dragon Knights, Pro Restarter Dragon Knights, you've been warned. We're just gonna talk about it.
You should watch it.
You should watch it because we have a lot of fun recording it.
Yeah. So in fact, all of my other party members are like actual Dragon Knights, and I am not a Dragon Knight. Probably because I like shot myself in the foot by being the dumb bitch that I am. Well, Zephyr anyway. But so instead of having like this dragon that is binded with my soul, I have a little phoenix familiar instead. Which has been fun. Because it's basically like a super jacked up familiar compared to like, just like, ooh, I have a pet cat and it has like 1 hit point.
I have a little pseudo dragon who has 3.
Instead, mine's like, yeah, this is my phoenix familiar that has like half of my hit points and like can cast like cantrips and spells and do fire damage, and is like, I'm like going through all the moves just like, oh shit, which is because whenever I play Zephyr anyway, I feel like I'm managing a lot of things at once, just because if I manage to time and plan everything right, he can get like 3 attacks in a turn.
Mm-hmm.
2 just doing like his finesse light weapon business. Yeah. And then like 1 with his like magic item dancing sword that's like a free item, and then I have this phoenix to control on top of that, which can do its own things. So the episode before the one we recorded today, I was piloting Blop, our bard, because Dingo was out. Mm-hmm. Which, like made sense, because I'm like, oh yeah, I love bards. They're my favorite class. I'm comfortable with bards. But then I was like controlling like 3 units at once, just like, ah! Screaming.
Congratulations, you're a DM.
Yeah, but no, fuck, dude. Like, this Phoenix is like familiar on steroids, like, which is pretty cool.
So this was like completely separate from your class. This was completely separate from like any natural progression. This was just
it's like completely narrative based.
Yeah.
I had a little egg which I thought was a dragon egg and then became a phoenix egg. And now it's just a little phoenix bud.
Yeah. Which a lot of people really enjoy giving their players pets and familiars and jacked up phoenixes, which I certainly subscribe to. I definitely do love the Beastmaster Ranger, and I love all the Pact of the Chain, Find Familiar. Anytime that I can with character, I like taking that Magic Initiate feat. Isabel is a Pact of the Chain warlock. Yeah.
You have a little silver pseudo dragon buddy.
I got a little silver pseudo dragon. Her name is Argentine. She's a sweet baby.
Sweet babby can do no wrong. True. Like, here's like everyone else. They're kind of like on the ground level. Yeah. Then there's Isabel in like terms of pureness, and then there's Argentine on top of Isabel, which is really
very top.
But yeah, so like Argentine does have like the same kind of like beefiness and functions as like any or other sort of familiar.
Yeah,
But like
which is to say,
you
nothing.
did get some like narrative like add-ons for her.
The only real narrative add-on that I have is that, uh, because of like our dragon knightness, I can like absorb Argentine and like sprout dragon wings,
Hell yeah.
which is really cool. This half elf warlock getting silver dragon wings from her dragon dad, her patron.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank, thanks, Dad.
I only had to kill you like 6 times, but you know.
9. We're at 9, Father
Is
Dad.
that for real?
Yes.
Bruh. How?
Dragon Knights is a great game.
Dragon Knights, where no dads survive. Well, no.
Well, no, my dad, my adopted father is still alive.
Yeah, he's just missing part of his leg, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure the rest of him will go soon.
I mean, Edmund is a daddy and he's alive.
Oh my god. You and Barbie started made so many people mad today.
I'm that bitch.
Chat was like booing and hissing.
So yeah, I didn't make Zizabel happen because Kirby Star didn't kill my almost fiance.
Which, you know, definitely made sense and in a meta perspective was totally the right call because you have this dude who is a lord, who is nice, who has a shit put together, and then you have the train wreck that is Zephyr. So, out of character totally makes sense, and in character as well.
Well, I promise we'll get back to pets like right after this because I do want to ask like how you feel about your Phoenix and Argentine and everything.
Oh yeah, we'll totally get back to that. But this was such like a big moment.
Yeah, I got engaged today.
We
like
got fucking engaged while we were asleep. Or she did, I guess, since we're talking about Isabel, which
we're the same person. It doesn't matter.
I am thou.
Thou art I. But yeah, Isabel has lost a lot within the past like couple of months. So the fact that something
definitely lost the most out of everyone in the party.
So at the beginning of like the entire game, like she felt guilty and gave this guy an out. Like, hey, look, if you think that I'm taking all this away from you, then I'm gonna go and do my own thing for a little bit, and whenever I come back, you can be mad at me or whatever. We'll work it out then. But then the world went to shit. Then everyone's gonna like dying and everything. She thought that he was dead. He thought that she was dead, and then we found out I had another dad. That dad died, and that dad died, and then that dad died, and then that dad died, and then we found mom, and then that dad died again. And then mom may have died, and Isabel died in an alternate timeline, and then lots of stuff has happened. And then she thought that like everybody in her hometown was gonna die, and then whenever she was fighting everybody, trying to make sure that people can get out, something familiar, something good from her past just came back up. Of course, she was gonna run right back to it because that's what she needed at the moment. So
yeah, that good safety, that good stability, like, no, it makes perfect sense.
So yeah.
But
I mean, he can still die.
From mysterious gunshot wound.
But will Isabel be able to pick up pieces if her fiance dies? Like,
yeah, no, exactly. But yeah, no. Zephyr will be very respectful of that. Just because out of character, I don't want to be like the early Scanlan Pike situation, because that's kind of a weird dynamic.
Yeah.
To be like super.
Scanlan and Pike was my no TP for like the entire like.
Oh, Critical Role spoilers, I guess.
Like very first episode, that's what Scanlan says. But like throughout, like even through the Chroma Conclave, like Scanlan Pike was no TP.
Yeah, but there gets to be a certain point where it's like, Scanlan goes under major character growth, and then like it's okay. But like, yeah, but no, like I don't want to be that person. I love, playful flirting, and I love just like side drama, but I'm not gonna be like, date my character. In fact, if you really want to get into the behind the scenes mechanical lore, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Maybe this should just be the smooching episode.
How can we make our OCs kiss the episode?
Well, not even like this past week, I saw like there's actual supplements being posted in the DMs Guild about how to involve romantic subplots in your games.
Interesting.
And I kind of want to get it, but I also kind of don't, because I sort of want that stuff to happen organically and not force it on my players. But that said, there's a lot of players out there who like playing disaster romantics.
Roll to smooch.
Yeah, you got roll to smooch players.
No, actually, that's usually not inter-party romance is not a topic that I normally breach. Like, I'm just kind of like, And most of the time, even like outer party romance, I'm just like, But whenever I was creating Zephyr, so Zephyr mechanically has the charlatan background.
Mm-hmm.
And, I do like doing like the ideals, the flaws, what have you, to get like at least some sort of sense of how I want to maybe RP this character. And I thought I was about to burp, but I didn't. And one of the things I think is just, I don't even think it wasn't his flaw, it was one of his personality traits, is that he's always falling in and out of love, or like being romantically infatuated with someone like very quickly. So like at first he was definitely just kind of like, oh, okay, so there is this very pretty half-elven woman, so let me just playfully flirt. And then I was like, if anyone else comes along, I'm gonna like try and flirt with them too. But then like no one else came along.
Nope.
Actually, low-key was about to flirt with Isabel's mom in the temple.
I was about to say, Isabel's mom's got it going on.
Yeah, he was about to flirt, but like other things like came up before like he had a chance to say anything. And then like it came out that was her mom, and it was just like, oh, weird. But yeah, no one else came into the picture. So to me, it like kind of made sense where he was like, oh shit. Oh, oh, my feelings. So
we had also just killed her baby daddy, so.
Oh, yeah, true.
That's true. My dad.
That's true. We killed him a few times, I guess. But yeah, no, that was like the whole reason that I decided to kind of start with that. But then I was like, and then of course, even back whenever I was just like playfully flirting, Dingo was like, oh my god. Like, it was one of the earlier episodes. Zephyr had said something along the lines of, like, to Isabel, like, I'll follow you wherever you go.
Yeah.
Like, casually, and everyone was like, in the chat. So I'm just kind of like, So that was really my whole mindset behind it. So, but being like the awkward person that I am and not wanting to be weird, I'm just like, just casual flirting.
Yeah, I get that.
But that's that on that.
We can keep going down this rabbit hole. That's kind of how I'm dealing with a certain inter-party relationship in my Monday night campaign.
I'm not.
So the barbarian asked Blake to show her his dick.
Oh.
And we blacked out and woke up the next morning fully clothed.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing out of game. Nothing happened.
Nothing. Nope.
No. In fact, like he was fully set to like whip it out just for like anatomical curiosity. Because, like, Dragonborn penises are weird.
I bet, whenever Gary Gygax was making D&D all those years ago, he was thinking, I want to put mechanics into my game where players can really discuss the anatomy of Dragonborn dicks. Because, swear to God, this is not the first time I've heard of this happening. I remember
the
session.
We had an entire session where we just talked about all of our penises, all of our characters' penises.
I was not there for that session, but I heard stories.
Yeah, it involved a Dragonborn and a werewolf, so plot twist. I was the Dragonborn. I'm being facetious, of course I was a werewolf. But anyway, since that happened, there's been like a lot of like flirting on this barbarian's end that my blood hunter has not been receptive to.
No.
Because like he doesn't know what flirting is.
Yeah.
He wasn't raised in that sort of environment. He was raised to kill things. He has had sex with one person.
Oh.
One person.
Oh, is that exclusive lore, or is that just something that I missed because
I've told them about it. But it hasn't come up in game. Blake has had this is my Dragonborn blood hunter, Blake.
Blake fucks.
Blake has fucked. Blake does not fuck. He has had sex with one person. It was the only other non-human that was in his hunter order.
Oh.
Because like they were best friends because they would both get teased by the rest of the humans.
Also, not safe for work. Don't listen to this at work. Why would you anyway?
Why would you? But like right before they like left whenever they like graduated their training or whatever, they had sex once, and it was kind of awkward, as first times tend to be in experiences.
Yeah.
And he was just like, okay, that's a thing that I did.
Nope, cross that off the bucket list. I'm done.
So like, he's just kind of indifferent to it. But any sort of flirtations and everything, he just goes right over his head. So.
Oh man, those are fun characters to play.
But that has also been an OTP that Chad has weighed in upon, that I'm just like, all right, cool story.
Sure. God, character. God, Connor.
Excuse me.
I swear I'm not this drunk. I was like, God, Connor, you just make, the most dateable NPCs, I guess. or PCs.
But when can I be the most fuckable character in Critical Role?
I need that big Percy energy. Oh my god, since we're on this tangent, I was shook whenever Danny was just casually like, oh yeah, Percy and Lilith fucked. And then I was on Twitter like, when did this happen? Like, genuinely, just because I binge watched like the first campaign very quickly up until about like episode 90. I'd finally got caught up, but I was watching like 2 or 3 episodes of Critical Role a day, doing it like 1.5 times speed. So like I don't always remember the smaller details. So I'm just like, oh my god, did they fuck? Just like on Twitter. And then like a discussion was born from that tweet, and Danny was like, yeah, no, they did. Taliesin confirmed that with me. Like, it might have been off camera, but it happened. And like, Twitter just erupted, and then I think Taliesin even like confirmed it like a week later when he called Percy like the never-ending shagathon. God, Percy,
best boy,
most canonically fuckable character in Vox Machina. Percy fucks.
Yeah, he got all them chillins. But speaking of chillins, we played a game where you and I have little pets, and they're
segue.
Dig ourselves out of this rabbit hole of sex and romance.
Maybe we should put like timestamps in the description, just be like, to avoid the rabbit hole. Go from here to here.
No, this is a softcore content they come to expect of drunk Kylen and drunk Connor.
Yeah, cool. Softcore indeed, am I right? Wink wink.
Wink wonk.
Wink wonk. Okay, yes, but we have little pets. We have little pets in that campaign.
So I'm doing like basic familiar rules and everything, but you have a creature thing that you're using. How do you feel about just being narratively offered this and not having any sort of mechanical benefits from it?
Well, I would say mine's mostly combat mechanics and combat benefits to it. Like, with my familiar with the Phoenix, like I can, it can take a few hits, not that many, but it could take some hits, do damage. It even has access to like some higher level spells. I mean, only is like 1 spell slot, but like it could cast like I've cast Sleet Storm in game before, but I can also cast Call Lightning or Fireball. So like the Phoenix has like combat power behind it, but not so much, I wouldn't say, like the other benefits of having like a familiar, like, having like a wizard familiar where you can like see through their eyes or whatever.
Yeah, I can see through Argentine's eyes, and I can cast Cure Wounds into Argentine and have Argentine release it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able. Well, first of all, Zephyr is not a spellcaster by any means. He can cast Levitate on himself because he's an air genasi once a day, but that's the extent of it. But even if he did, he wouldn't be able to cast through the Phoenix. Like, the Phoenix is basically just like another combatant that just happens to act on my turn that I have control of. But yeah, no. So Phoenix buddy. I still haven't thought of a name for that Phoenix. I am the worst. So my Phoenix is like a combatant, but Argentine's more like support and skills and what have you.
Right, but like Isabella's more of a support role in and of herself.
That's true, and Zephyr's more DPS.
Yeah. You can just now cast Fireball and do the most DPS.
Yes. Yeah, I've been wanting to, but like every time I want to do it, I'm just like, Blop's right there, or just Odie's over there. Just I don't want to be like that, the trigger happy fireball person.
It's called splash damage. Get over it. Yeah.
I actually read something on Twitter, like I don't remember who tweeted, but like how like someone's party like almost got TBK'd and like at least 3 people died because someone like a new player came in, or like maybe a returning player came in with a new character, whatever. It was like a new character for sure, and they just like cast fireball on like friend and foe because they didn't like in character they didn't know which was which, and like 3 player characters died. I would have been mad as fuck if that would have happened to me. Fireball, man.
So my experiences with Fireball, I promise we're going to get back to pets eventually.
Maybe.
I don't know. This podcast is loosely based on the topic of pets. In one of my home games, there was a wild magic sorcerer who was like my adopted sister. Who rolled on wild magic inside a bar.
Oh no.
And cast fireball on herself.
Oh no.
And was 1 point away from insta-killing herself.
Oh no.
But also set a tavern on fire.
Oh.
Killed a lot of people.
Campaign derail.
Mm-hmm. Your wild magic's great.
Fuck, dude. I've played a Wild Magic Sorcerer once for that one shot you did, but I didn't actually get to do anything on the Wild Magic table.
Right, I should have been better about that.
Huh?
I should have been better about that.
No, it's okay. No, I like rolled twice and I still didn't get anything. But we did play that one session out of the Abyss where we were in that temple that had the wild magic.
Yes.
And then someone turned into a potted plant. I don't remember who. I think it might have been Kazan. Did Kazan turn into a potted plant?
Maybe. I just remember I died.
Yeah, you fucking died.
But that was
someone turned into a potted plant.
That was from a ghost.
My druid was trying to wield the holy greatsword. That was a mess of a battle. It was fun though.
But yeah, you got a pet. It's cool.
You got a pet.
I got a pet. She's also cool.
Yeah.
What are some of your other experiences with familiars and using companions?
Let's see. So before I played D&D, I played Iron Kingdoms and Age of Empires, which I, to my knowledge, don't have familiars. Maybe they do. I never got into anything that had a familiar in either of those systems. But then I played Pathfinder, and I rolled up a druid that I made with the sole purpose of modeling it after one of our friends. And so, like, I made a druid that was raised by bears and only transformed into bears. And then I also had a bear companion, because I guess in Pathfinder, druids can have animal companions.
So me if I was a bear. Me if I was Cyber Bear.
Oh my god. Can you imagine, there's an alternate universe out there where you are Cyber Bear.
Cybrwulf.
Oh, Jesus. Half man.
Man, bear, pig.
Half bear, half wolf. Yeah, but no, my little bear companion named Bear and Guare. And like this was when I was still like very new to playing tabletop games, and I was definitely like a lot more, well, I mean, to be honest, I'm a little bit of a chaotic player, but but I used to be more chaotic back in the day. Where I was just like memeing and shit, basically. So I didn't really know like all of the mechanics of using this familiar. Um, I really mostly use Berenguer for roleplay purposes, or whenever we were in battle.
Mm-hmm.
My character Arth would also transform into a bear, and we basically did like the. If any of you guys are familiar with Naruto, it was basically like Kiba and Akamaru, where they did like the fang over fang that were shit. Middle school me is gonna be so mad that I can't remember the actual name of it. Um, Naruto fans, like, comment, and subscribe, and go in the comments and tell me how big of a fuck up I am. But you know, the jutsu where they both transform into dogs and they did like the spinny thing, that might have been fang over fang. I basically did that. That was my battle strategy.
But with bears.
But with bears. So that was really my only real like major combat experience with familiars, I guess, because once I got into D&D, I was basically turned off to familiars by senior players because at that time, really the only surefire way to have a familiar was through the Beastmaster Ranger. And back in, this was about like 3-4 years ago.
Which whenever we're saying familiar or companion or pet, we're using all of those interchangeably. We're talking about just having little animals with you.
Yes.
Don't
hold us to any standard.
We're not getting into the nitty gritty of like, oh well, this is a companion, this is a familiar. Like we just want cute animals with us.
You know the quality of the shit when you came here. Do not hold us to any standard. But yeah, no. So basically, I was kind of like turned off to the whole idea because like people who had been playing were just like, hey, Beastmaster Ranger, whoa, don't wanna do that. That's the worst thing you could do. So, but you don't exactly have the same viewpoint, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll be careful here. The Beastmaster Ranger for 5th edition was underpowered in its action economy and possibly still is. I'm sure it is still balanced and everything, especially with the latest changes that happened in the errata that came out like this week. So like now you're based off of the errata, like by default your animal companion will like start taking the dodge action if you don't give it an attack, so that'll make it a little bit more survivable.
I thought that Beastmaster was updated a while back, if I'm not mistaken. But you're saying
that was something with Revised Ranger, which they sort of went away from because they didn't want to publish 2 different versions of the same class.
Okay.
And all the other Ranger classes are fairly balanced. Like they're pretty much all good mechanically. Like you've played the Gloomstalker Ranger.
Gloomstalker Ranger in the right environment is crazy stupid.
Like Gloomstalker Ranger is great. I think the Monster Hunter Ranger also really great. Actually, I think they're all great. Especially like now. Sorry, while I turn my lights back on. So like giving up your own attacks sucks.
Yes.
No way around it. It just sucks. That's why crossbow builds are usually not great. Don't build a crossbow player unless you plan to take crossbow expert, which Blake did not do. So we'll see how that affects him. The thing about crossbows, you can only take like 1 action or 1 attack per action. But like for rangers, you have to give up your action or an attack to let your animal attack. At lower levels, that sucks. So At higher levels, you can do one, and then your buddy can do one. So that's cool. But like with the errata that just came out, your companion now takes a dodge action, which is great because you don't have to command them to do that. You don't have to give up your action. Your companion will now get magical attacks, which is great because now,
Oh,
well, like their bites and claws and stuff, they count as like magical damage, so they can overcome the resistances that a lot of enemies have.
that's good.
Yeah. I think that ranger was the only thing that never really had a surefire way to do that, because like sure they have spells, but they don't have cantrips,
Yeah,
so they have a very limited resource of that.
right.
And if they keep getting hit and lose concentration, then all four of those special ranger, those ranger only spells, they're all concentration. They all go away.
Right.
But now the ranger companion does get magical attacks at like 7th level, and then at higher levels now they'll be able to take 2 attacks if you give them an attack, or they can use their multi-attack feature if they have one, all of which are really good improvements. The only thing is, if your pet dies, they don't have the like revives ranger way to bring them back. But like,
So if they die in the game, they die in real life.
yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
But speaking of, they did do the like revised ranger thing where like they got rid of the extra attack and like gave that out to certain subclasses. They changed some things with like the primeval awareness and the favorite terrain and the enemies. Most of the changes to the base class weren't that great, but they made a lot of changes to the Beast Ranger and specifically how you get one. Like I think it was like a spirit that takes the form of an animal pretty similar to a familiar, or like it's just something whose spirit will like persist and will be able to reform in a new body if you do a certain ritual and everything, which I think is great for DMs who want to make sure that a player's beloved pet stays alive.
Oh Jesus, yeah. I'm trying to think what would have happened in Critical Role Campaign 1 if Trinket had ever like died.
I'm sure that Matt would have given them a reason or a way to bring it back. Like they already talked to a bear spirit.
That would have been like a Category 5 lore hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would have been deadly. But
we've already heard of things that Laura has almost done to Travis because of him sending Trinket into dangerous places.
True.
Or like smacking his butt and stuff.
Speaking of, I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, another complaint of the Beastmaster Ranger is like after a certain point, your familiar is way too underpowered for combat. Like
yeah.
Everything is much stronger than you are, can take your hit points out way quicker, and you can do barely any damage. And I think that we saw that in Critical Role Campaign 1 to the point where like it was just like, oh, Trinket go. Oh, fuck, Trinket passed out. So I think it got to the point where, you know, Matt essentially was like, here's this Pokeball necklace to kind of, you know, a way to combat that.
Well, yeah. I still think that it is a great class. I hardly ever get out of low level play, so I've never really seen it personally at higher levels.
That makes sense.
Right now, I am playing a Beastmaster Ranger level 5 and Druid level 8 in a homebrew game, but obviously I'm leaning more into the Druid thing than the Ranger thing.
Yeah.
But we haven't even entered combat yet. We've had 2 sessions, so 3 sessions. So we'll see how that goes. at some point, maybe in the next episode, if the topic is right.
Or even if it's not, we
Or
could
if
get
it's
there
not, we could just talk about more smooching.
Oh God, speaking of smooching. No, just kidding. I don't want to hear like complaints from our group about how all we do is talk about how our OCs are hot.
But he's writing the comment right now.
We see you, you son of a bitch. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
But more familiars. More companions. I'll talk about one.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
So in my wonderful Monday night game, which I love, and I hope everyone at least checks out twitch.tv/TheIndoorAdventurer, because he is such a good DM.
Yes, it's true.
Does a lot of really great stuff. In our special super spooktacular Halloween episode, we got a pupper.
You did.
So we had fought against an ogre. I think it was an ogre.
Yeah.
With 3 wolves, which, you know what's going to happen to you if you leave your house? There's going to be like 3 wolves.
They're going to tear your ass up.
They're going to eat your titties.
Your face and shit.
Your pussy, your face and shit. There were 3 wolves named Bitey, and Bitey. And we had to put them down. My soul was crushing through all of it.
Sad I woos in the chat.
Sad I woos only. Sad I woos in the comments. But we ended up that fight, and we noticed there was like a little squirming in the bag, and there was a little wolf pupper who was like licking honey off of her coat and stuff. And our barbarian, who had blood all over her face, like picked it up and started licking her face. My character was not like super okay with like taking care of something else, but like we did kill his family, so it's just like, okay, whatever.
But how did Connor feel?
Oh my god, that was so cute! I'm not making the dumbest face right now. It's great. That was so cute. But and this is what makes that like one of my favorite episodes that we've done. Our barbarian, our lovely player, Miss LB Hackemup,
Hey.
decided to name that little wolf pupper Cybra. It's the first time like anybody's named a D&D thing after me.
Cybrwulf.
Cybra the wolf. Oh.
It very, very good and cute.
V good, V cute, V useless right now.
Oh, for sure.
But
basically just like a burden almost, because you got to keep this little babby alive.
Yeah. Which like we've been pretty good about like keeping it out of combat, because we haven't had combat since we picked it up, except for the ghost.
Well, you have, but
we kept the wolf very far away.
Yeah, you're situated like in a town, so you've kind of established like a little home base and just like, oh, here NPC, watch my puppy.
But we do have plans to, at some point in the distant future, to have a stat block for Cybra and be able to use it. We're going to be using the Metal Weave Gaming, or Metal Weave Dice, Metal Weave Gaming. I'm not sure. The Baby Bestiary. The Baby Bestiary is the rules that we're thinking about using for that. But that's something that is definitely not set in stone, and maybe Cyber the Wolf will die before we even get into that. But
okay,
I will cry.
Morbid.
But I will cry so much if that happens.
So if it gets to the point where Cyber does get a stat block and could be used in combat, who would?
LB.
Okay.
LB would do it. because like she was the one who found it in the first place and named it. So like, yeah, I think it'd be great for like the barbarian to be the one with the wolf companion, because you know
Makes sense.
that's badass.
Badass little wolf baby.
But yeah, we got a little pupper. It's cute. That's my only other like companion thing. I use familiars and everything like I said, every time one of my characters is able to get like a familiar. You, you saw that with Carter, the Yuan T, and his little snake companion. Yes. Or Dan.
Fucking Dan.
Dan was the cutest companion. Like, he's so good. I love him.
Cute little snick.
Cute.
No, I've actually realized that I have had more companions than I originally thought I had. But not even like I've said, I've never played like a Beastmaster or Range or anything. It's just kind of like random things. So I guess like thinking about this chronologically, after Arthur Berenguer and Pathfinder Days, maybe a couple of years later, Connor decides to run Curse of Strahd. And around the time that we decided to run Curse of Strahd, not too long before, there was an Unearthed Arcana for new Warlock subclasses. And I decided to make a Drow Pact with the Raven Queen Warlock because being, you know, the little critical role nerd that I was like, oh man, that's cool. And, you know, this is going to be in Barovia, and that's dark and shit. So, you know, it works. Which, you know, they did not keep that Warlock option, sadly. But, you know, it was fun to play it. One of the features of it that you get pretty much immediately. Well, I know I had it, but that's because Curse of Strahd's like mid-level adventure, if I'm not mistaken.
We started at level 3.
Oh.
I didn't want to run Death House.
Okay.
So you got most of your like archetypes and features and stuff.
Damn, I didn't remember starting that early. But yeah, so one of the features you got pretty soon, if not immediately, was a spectral raven familiar, which basically was like Pact of the Chain, but like beefed up.
Which you could have taken that in addition to Pact of the Chain, but you did not.
Yeah, I went Pact of the Tome instead because this is my first time running a Warlock, which Pact of the Tome, meh, kind of in comparison to the other options. But instead, I went Pact of the Tome, but basically had all the features of Pact of the Chain, and then some with this Spectral Raven familiar. First of all, I got the Raven's bonus for perception in addition to my own anytime it was sitting on my shoulder, which was ridiculous because I think at one point I had like a perception bonus of like +9, +10. It was crazy stupid. So like I was like Caduceus Clay. I could see all.
But like you never, even having this Raven for the entire thing, there was never any real narrative moments with it, right? I think there was like a couple of things with the random truck outside my apartment. I think there was like a couple of things with the Keepers of the Feather, just like noticing it, but like I'm not sure if there was any like narrative stuff with it.
Not particularly. I think the few times that I tried to reach out to the Raven Queen, it was very difficult just because of the Barovia, demiplane, disconnect situation. So didn't really get that much into it. But uh but what I didn't explore in story, I explored in all the other features, which were pretty cool. It got to a certain point where I could actually like meld with the raven and like basically become a raven for the points.
Skip half of a dungeon and get the special item because you just fly in through a window.
Yeah, I did. What item was that?
The holy symbol of Ravenkind.
Huh?
It was the holy symbol of Ravenkind.
Oh, do you mean the holy symbol of Ravenkind? Yes, I remember that. God, I haven't gotten to do that so long. But yeah.
God, we should just run Curse of Strahd again.
Oh, dude, that's actually something I would love to do in the future. I have plans.
Just run Curse of Strahd?
Yeah, to run Curse of Strahd.
Do it.
But everything is the same except Strahd is a hot woman.
Curse of Carmilla.
Yeah, essentially, just Strahd is a hot woman because I know in that situation, I would die immediately.
You'll believe Strahd is a woman.
Hot vampire woman would be like, hey, and I would be like, yep, okay, this is fine. I want to be cursed. But yeah, eventually, that's a long-term plan. But yeah, no, that, there wasn't like a super useful combat feature, nor was Poe super useful in combat. I mean, there was that one time we were fighting Winter Splinter, and
Winter Splinter. Spoilers for Curse of Strahd.
Oh,
but not
oh
really.
Jesus, yeah, fuck. Spoilers for Curse of Strahd. But Poe saw that there was like a jewel like in the back of its mouth and like flew inside its mouth and like clawed it out and like essentially killed Winter Splinter. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. Otherwise, it was just like peck for 1 point of damage. So it did not really use that as much. But yeah, Poe was essentially just like scout, bind with me for the fly features. So that was pretty fun. And there I did get to have like kind of this cool mini connection with the Were Raven peeps of that were in Vallaki. No?
Yes, Vallaki and the winery. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to have like kind of like that cool connection with them. So I think that made like the entire party's interactions like better with them because it was just like, hey, Raven person, and then we were like kind of cool with them from then on out. Mm-hmm. So that was a neat connection that I, was certainly not planning for. But yeah, there wasn't like a super like close like bonding moment aspect, probably because of the way I played that character. She was kind of very emotionless, kind of in stereotypical drow fashion.
Even when we're reading from her book of limericks.
Yeah. Yeah, so my character found a book of like dirty limericks and would just read them like so deadpan. And it just absolutely killed TSB. Like, he was just like, stop, I hate it. I think it killed our other player, too. I think they were both just like, stop, stop. But, yeah, so she was pretty deadpan. And then, on top of that, it was like, oh, this isn't a real pet. This is just like a spectral gift from my patron.
So there wasn't any real emotional attachment.
Yeah, because it was just like, this is just like a spirit. This isn't a real thing. And then, on top of that, she wasn't really one for attachment anyway because of her upbringing. So, you know, which is fine because sometimes it's just like fun to play with the fun parts and not really go into the story parts. But I've had like some experiences with like some other familiars that are like more. There's a lot more of that close personal, like you are my sweet sweet babby and I don't want anything to happen to you. Um, hmm. Let's see. Oh, well, um, I did have in that one shot that you ran on your channel, I had my wild magic sorcerer, and
Did they have a fire?
yes, you don't remember Mr. Tibbles?
Mr. Tibbles!
Mr. Tibbles! So I give him like the urchin background, and then like one of the things that you get as far as the urchin background is like a rat. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I remember what I did to Mr. Tibbles.
Yeah, so I have fucking Mr. Tibbles, who I thought was just like a regular ass rat. But somewhere along the way, someone found out that Mr. Tibbles was actually a cranium rat, which are like rats with their little brains showing, that have like some powers of like telepathy. And whenever they're in a horde, they're actually like a low level force to be reckoned with. But just one on its own is, whatever. But yeah, Mr. Tibbles. So that sorcerer was crazy. So in turn, Mr. Tibbles was also kind of crazy. I think you had to be crazy to be running with this wild magic sorcerer.
Well, so like that one shot, the what the hell is one shot? Y'all all died.
Yes.
Y'all died to get to where we started that thing. My little head canon, which I was the DM for that, so it is the canon, is that you and Mr. Tibbles wasn't a regular rat, but y'all died to mind flayers.
Okay. See, my head canon which could work, was that we both died from a wild magic fireball centered on myself. To mind flayers.
But mind flayers were involved.
Mind flayers were involved, which, in D&D lore, cranium rats are rats with the influence of the illithid, the mind flayers, all that deep underdark nonsense.
But yeah, you had your little cranium rat pit.
And did he do anything? Like,
I don't think so.
No, I think there was like some telepathy and shit, but I did in another campaign. This was for Dungeon World, actually. I had a familiar. So whenever I was at Gen Con, I signed up for a Dungeon World game, which coincidentally was run by Sir Lucian, who I'd known from all the stuff that you guys had done together online up to that point.
Yeah, so. Sir Lucian of Sir Lucian Gaming, great D&D channel. I love his Sunday morning D&D show that he runs with Jordan with South PH.
Yeah. And I can attest that he is a good DM. So yeah, small world kind of situation, but he ran a Dungeon World one shot where the premise is not to be like that meme comparing everything to Dark Souls, but the premise was kind of like Dark Souls, where basically like you had like died previously and kind of like civilization had kind of like gone to shit. You were basically like a hollow.
Yeah.
Trying to like restore yourself. So in that game I was a I was a ranger. I was a undead ranger named I was a skeleton ranger named Calcium. Because fuck it, it's Dungeon World.
Yeah, Dungeon World is not usually the narrative, super serious. Well, it doesn't take itself seriously.
Or at least we don't take it very seriously from the one time that we all played Dungeon World together.
Let's not talk about that.
Well, we can talk about the milder parts, like when we were coming up the land, like the what was it, the field of horses and horse-like creatures, the forest of bears, and also wolves.
Yeah, you brought back Arth Berdelian for that.
I did bring back Arth Berdelian for that. I was a druid who could transform into creatures, but loved transforming into bears. But yeah, no, so I was definitely being silly when I made this character. And then as a ranger, I could have a little animal companion, so I made a little rat named Bone Spurs. And together we kind of devised that Bone Spurs wasn't just like a regular rat. Bone Spurs was kind of like, had like some kind of almost like cranium rat telepathy powers. Not as like advanced as a cranium rat.
Right.
Couldn't really speak, but could like maybe like share images or feelings or whatever. And so, in Dungeon World, you basically create like bonds with other characters based off of like one sentence or whatever. So like everyone, in addition to creating bonds with each other, also created bonds with Bone Spurs, the rat.
Oh.
The skeletal rat. So basically by the end of it, it was just like, Bones, we all want to know these magical secrets that Bone Spurs has. Bone Spurs is a trusted ally, a powerful figure. And like eventually it came out that Bone Spurs actually had been like a powerful elf in a past life, but was now this rat. It was basically like the most powerful character in the game. But as part of this little adventure, we got to this point where there were like these imps or like devil creatures that were like, there were some that were trying to like throw these bricks away, and these others that were trying to like build with these bricks. So there was like kind of a fight, and we signed up with the ones building the whatever. So they won, and they're trying to build something, but they were like, oh, what should we build? And so my character was like, oh, I must consult with Bone Spurs. Bone Spurs is very wise. And Bone Spurs shared with me this great and powerful vision of what they wanted the building to become. And essentially, it was just a cheese warehouse. So these imps are now going to spend, we're going to spend hundreds of years building a very large, immaculate cheese warehouse. And by God, did we all take Bone Spurs' word as law? It's just like, this is what Bone Spurs said. So I think in that instance, I guess Bone Spurs is my most powerful animal companion today.
Truly wise and powerful.
He's gonna get that cheese warehouse, goddammit.
And we will give it to him. Any other companion things that you got?
Very recently, when we played that one shot that you ran for me, TSB, and Arsqueef, where I played a wizard, my gnome wizard.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had Weasley, Weasley, the celestial weasel, because I'd gone through all the trouble to name my character and everything, and like 5 minutes before we were supposed to start, I was like, shit, I have Find Familiar. I should probably name my animal companion. So, the gears in the brain were definitely churning when I came up with Weasley for this weasel. But,
So this one shot that I ran is a published adventure. It is the only, as far as I'm aware, Adventures League module that released for Xanathar's Guide to Everything. It's called Underworld Speculation.
mm-hmm. But you kind of reskinned it for Iman and not Water.
And it was written by Chris Lindsay. And
nice.
I think that's accurate. If I'm not, Cyber Connor will post a picture up.
But yeah, you had reskinned it for Iman to kind of fit with,
to fit with some lore that was going on that y'all didn't really have a chance to see yet.
Yeah, because it was during the time slot where we normally play our Iman Dragon Heist campaign, but one of our players was out, so it fit into that world. But I made a wizard with my little weasel companion, and I guess like in between all the times that I had like played animal companion, so that they at this point Critical Role campaign 2 had like started up, and it's been well into campaign 2, and there's Caleb now, and he has his familiar, so I could kind of see like what the familiar can do mechanically. So I was like, oh yeah, let me try this, let me play around with this. So it was a lot more just like exploring those mechanics, like exploring the like whole scouting thing, and all the little actions that familiars can take. And of course, Weasley was extremely adorable
and powerful. He led an army by himself.
So for context, Connor gave us access to like one uncommon magical item.
I have no idea.
Whatever the green ones are in D&D Beyond.
Uncommon.
Okay. Yes. So I picked a robe of useful items, and rolled for all the different patches, which I rolled like an absurd number of patches. So I had a lot of stuff going in, and one of the things I had in my command were 6 mastiffs. So during this adventure, we found this giant flail snail slowly coming for us.
A normal size flail snail.
Okay, no, it was big in this tunnel. It was too big for the tunnel. So, and then like with some Arcana checks, we were able to figure out that like magic doesn't really work well against it. And being the smart people that we are out of game, we made a party, because we didn't collaborate in any way. We made a party of a sorcerer, a wizard, and a warlock.
Yep.
Sure. We're fucking geniuses. So we were just like, shit, what can we do? So my character's like, I have these 6 mastiffs. Maybe they can go in and charge the snail, and we can at least have that going for us. So that's what I did. I summoned the puppies of war. Puppies of war! And my god, they were all... I named them all eventually. They were like Sergeant Puppy, Major Puppy, Admiral Puppy. Like, they all had military ranks. But, so I sent the puppies down this hallway, and then I sent Weasley with them to like keep performing the help action, so they could keep, like, at least one of them could get like advantage. And my god, that was fucking funny. So they actually were able to survive that battle, and we got them to like carry some of the snail shell pieces because they were valuable. And then, like, I got to a point later that we were attacked by these other creatures. And, like, it would be like, I was like, no, I don't want them to get hurt. They're not gonna attack anyone. And then, like, someone would go and attack them. So on my turn, I'd be like, okay, these 6 puppies attack this one person. And it was just like, it would be funny because, like, the person would, like, attack the one dog, and then, like, 6 dogs would, like, jump in and probably, like, kill it. And then Weasley was there just kind of, like, performing the help action. It was funny. Just imagine 6 mastiffs charging into battle with a weasel on its back.
Yep.
And then a gnome. So that was a lot of fun. That's the kind of crazy nonsense.
That's the wonderful pet content that I love seeing in D&D.
Yeah, it's just have fucking fun. Have 6 fucking mastiffs and a weasel. That's my advice for you, listeners.
So in that Dragon Heist game, that Summer Inamon game, I've given the party one non-kosher creature companion.
Ruka!
So Ruka is a crawling claw. I was 100% inspired by Dice Camera Action, but whenever I was reskinning this, the whole in the very early thing of Dragon Heist, you're supposed to be like following some drawings through the sewer, but like they're supposed to be leading to a Xanathar Guild hideout. So it would be like a circle with like some spokes around it that's supposed to look like the Xanathar and its ice dogs. But there's no Xanathar Guild in Amon. There's no Xanathar.
Yes.
Unless you want to put it there. If you want to just run it straight out of the book, you go ahead. I wanted to like pivot this a little bit more into the established lore of Amon. But I didn't have any way to like guide you to where you need to go. So I had this, my replacement for this Xanathar Guild was some magical users. So I had a Barovian witch who had a crawling claw familiar that she was trying to get under control. Well, this crawling claw escaped and was drawing yellow penises all around the walls.
Yeah, so we followed the Yellow Dick Road.
He followed it all the way to this safe house, and the crawling claw was just like sitting on somebody's shoulder, and then y'all like knocked it unconscious.
Yes, it was sitting on Glide's shoulder, and so like, you know, and all her infinite wisdom was just like, ah, and punched it and knocked it unconscious.
There was just a limp hand here that y'all were like, oh no. And like picked it up and everything. Then it eventually got back up. And then y'all asked like if it wanted to stick with y'all, and it just gave a thumbs up. And that's how Ruka joined the party.
Going in, were you just like, I want them to pick up this crawling claw?
I was 100% hoping that y'all would take the crawling claw.
Thank God.
I was 100% like, I want this party to have this disgusting hand to stay with y'all.
And my God,
y'all did.
Dewey, is Ruka our little buddy?
Your helping hand.
Yes, which Ruka and Otto, our rogue, are like Ruka just like basically rides in his backpack, and they're super close, and you know, Ruka can't really do that much, but you know, it's just fun to have around.
I mean, he can lend a hand every now and then, but
he can carry small things. like
a bag of very expensive gems.
Yeah, Otto was trying to steal some gems from a corpse and was like, all right, Ruka, get back to the bar. And Ruka's just like crawling up, dragging their little hand body.
I love Ruka. I love crawling claws whenever they're not evil and trying to kill you.
Our party is like we have this fucking crawling claw, then we have like this haunted bar with like a poltergeist, and we're just like, yeah, no, this is completely fine. And everyone else in town is just like, okay. Your drinks are good. But yeah, what inspired you to give us this crawling claw event? Because you could have very easily been like, oh, this is a bad guy. It wants to kill you.
So like I said earlier in the episode, I'm definitely like a DM who wants my party to like have cool stuff like familiars and helpers and everything. I don't just like putting enemies for the sake of you killing them. Even the primordial dragon that caused some inter-party conflict not too long ago, it was definitely on the table for y'all to be able to like recruit him.
Mm.
But
Probably not under the circumstances in which we, like, I'm sure if we had tried to handle things by ourselves, that could have been possible, but what's the point where we recruited Alora and important town people? I think that was off the table at that point. We'll never know now.
You'll never know now because he's dead. But as far as the crawling claw, like I was like, hey, I want them to have some cool stuff. I want them to have some like cool dudes with them that like they can just control. Some little helpers, some little followers, companions. Fully intend to drop another one in that campaign at some point, even though I have no idea what it is yet.
Give us Ruka's matching hand. Like if Ruka's the right hand, give us the left hand.
No.
Give us the whole body.
No.
Or
so like crawling claws are like the severed hands of murderers.
Oh damn.
So
okay, give us a foot then. It could just kick people's shins.
No.
Coward.
Coward.
Oh, speaking of, fun, not always kosher options, I kind of let you have one in that little one shot that I ran.
Yeah, so in the Rats of Waterdeep one shot that you ran, I had already said that like I want to run a wizard who was in league with the Zentarum, a high elf wizard who was in league with the Zentarum, for like story purposes. Like, hey, like in my mind, high elves are like definitely tied to their bloodline. Like they want to make their ancestors and everything proud, their family. But like I wanted this guy to be like an orphan who had to find his own family, and it just so happened to be with this shady organization in Waterdeep. So you can't really have a wizard without a familiar, right? You can, but I like pets. I like vanity pets. So I was like, listen. Can I have a flying snake companion or familiar? Which like familiars don't normally get like attacks or really anything. Like they can help, they can take help or dodge or whatever as an action, but like they usually can't attack. So I don't see the flying snake like being any more broken than like an owl, because like they would both have flyby, and just be able to like deliver spells and then circle back to their wizard or anything. But I had a flying snake companion. Her name was Layla.
Yeah, Layla.
And my wizard, his name was Aex, spelled Aex. But Layla was actually his Centaurum tattoo. Whenever Layla was dismissed, she would fuse back into his skin and just like be this little tattoo that sometimes shifted positions on his body. And that was it. It was so fun to do that, and just like at the beginning, just like, oh yeah, my tattoo just like moved to another part of my body. You just notice that it shifted and everything. And then whenever I finally summoned Layla, just like merging out of my skin, doing flying snake stuff. It was real fun.
It was funny because me pretending to be a hard ass was like, whenever Connor first broached this idea on me, I was like, oh, well, you need to convince me, like, narratively, why that would make sense. Meanwhile, in my mind, 100% of the time, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to give him this flying snake regardless of what he said. But I just wanted to see if you could, like, come up with something. Yeah. And then you came up with that, which was, like, cool anyway. So I was like, I definitely can't say no at this point. But yeah, I 100%, regardless of what you said, would have been like, yeah, fuck yeah, have a flying snake. I don't care.
Tell me how to say no to this. All right. Now, we haven't talked about one pet follower son of ours. Kind of important.
I forgot about my son.
How dare you? Maybe it's because we haven't played that campaign in so long. But we also have one more follower pet thing who's very near and dear to our heart. Our son Barash.
Connor and I are dads.
We're the proud dads of a black dragon that we hatched.
Proud on
I am very proud of my boy.
On my character's behalf, he is proud. He's definitely more okay with it now, but initially he was just like, And then this little dragon imprinted on him with like a 1% chance. So he was just like, narratively it made sense why he would behave that way. So like, but while Tyrell isn't really comfortable with the situation, I, Kylen, love Balrog.
He's so good, but he has matured very, very quickly. So he's not a precious babu as he originally was whenever we hatched him.
So our DM for that campaign is TSB, and he kind of has like the same thought process as all of us, I guess, is, why would I deny you this cool helper thing to kind of make the story more fun? So Horde of the Dragon Queen spoilers, maybe? There was this point where we like invaded like this little dragon hatchery for the dragon cult, and because we were trying to find these blue dragon eggs for this dragon to basically get him to like fuck off and stop associating with the cult.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were there, we also found like some black dragon eggs, and like this dragon, like the blue dragon, busted in and smashed the black dragon eggs
out of like revenge.
Yeah, it was basically like, fuck you. But didn't see, and I don't think most of us didn't see, maybe one person saw that there was, another black dragon egg hidden under some rubble. So once we had like discovered it, like I think every party member wanted to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Like my character, Tyrell, was like, we should just kill it. Like, we don't need another chromatic dragon in the world, especially not a black dragon. They're very volatile. And then, like, your character, Rogar, was like, no, we need to, like, raise it and take care of it.
Well, Rogar was just like, we're not killing a kid.
Okay. So you were just like, no, we shouldn't kill it.
The ultimate evil.
Preaches our warlock. Was like, oh, we should like maybe keep it and sell it, or
No,
like.
no, Preacher was just like, let's have it on our side.
Okay.
The ultimate evil.
Yeah, he was team have it on our side, and then Trion, our barbarian, was just like, let's just, let's not make any decisions. Let's just leave it alone, and whatever happens, happens. So we were all like, we all were coming in from different points, and it was like a big inter-party argument. But eventually, the side of let's keep it alive and let's keep it with us won out.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Divine intervention, actually.
Oh yeah. I think I talked to Bahamut. Bahamut was just like, now.
And you talked to Bahamut. Tiamat spoke to me. It was great.
Just like, protect your kin, because Rogar's a chromatic dragonborn. So I relented, and everyone was kind of like, besides me, it was like team let it live, I guess. So, but then we like kept it with us, which also created a weird dynamic, because I was against that, Trion was against that, but you and Princess were for that. And then this dragon hatched, and then it imprinted on me, which was not supposed to happen at all.
Mm-hmm. Like, it was literally a die roll where it was like 50% chance it would imprint on me. Like,
next highest was Preaches.
Next highest was Preaches. Then after that, it was Tyrell.
After that was Trion. And then TSB was like, if I roll a natural 1, it will imprint on Tyrell. And like, we play this like online, but TSB and I live in the same apartment. We were in different rooms. So he rolls the dice, and he just like looks down, and he's like, no. And I open the door, I run in, I look at the dice, I see the 1. I like scream and collapse. And like, everyone like sees it, and we're just all like,
we're just dumbfounded and screaming and running around.
And then Tyrell had to roll a save to prevent from like also kind of imprinting on it in a way. Mm-hmm. Which he failed. So now it's just like, you feel the sense that you need to keep this creature alive. So against like everything, in spite of everything, he is now just like, you been eating good? You okay? What?
His other father feeds him, so.
Yeah, so you actually do all this stuff to like take care of Barash, but he imprinted on me, so it's a very weird dynamic. And then there's like, now he's like, he matured very quickly.
Yeah, he's got the mindset of like a 15-year-old, I want to say.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
And then like, for TSB to let us get away with our bullshit, because apparently, I guess, whoever created that was under the mindset that you would like
not do that.
Not take a dragon with you. He basically made it to where one of like our Harper connections was like, oh, here's a necklace that'll let him turn into like a human for most of the day, but at night he'll turn back into a dragon. So now he's like this, like he looks like
he's Fiona.
Huh?
He's Fiona from Shrek.
Yes. So now for most of the day he looks like an 18-year-old human. And then like it's been incredibly interesting because like everyone has very heated opinions on the way everything works and how we decide to impart our worldviews to him. from my understanding, Rogar was on the side of let's just not tell him anything.
He was.
Yeah, he was. But then Tyrell kind of like went behind his back and was like, "Hey, so you should know the history of our people and our kind, because even though Tyrell looks like a high elf, spoiler alert, he's a gold dragon. The only person that knows that is Barash too, which is very interesting. None of the player characters know, but he did tell Barash. So he's like, here's the history of our people, here's the history of Bahamut, here's the history of Tiamat. This is why Tiamat's bad, because he is a paladin of Bahamut, and another spoiler, used to be like very close cahoots with Bahamut. Was basically like one of his right hand people. So basically came in with that slant. Treon's still very wary, and the Preaches is coming in like, gods are shit. You shouldn't believe anything. No one is good. So we have confused this babby dragon.
Well, then like Bahamut also came in.
Also, because TSB just is wilding out.
So Bahamut is also coming in, making things even more complicated because Bahamut is like talking to Tyrell, talking to Barash, not talking to Rogar. And then like my babu comes back and it's like, yeah, Bahamut's cool. Like we just had a conversation and everything. I'm like, oh no.
Which makes you feel some type of way, Chromatic Dragonborn.
Which made him feel some type of way. Well, like he's got trauma back there that I won't get too much into. I think we've talked about it on the previous episode. We talked about all of this on the previous.
I'm sure we've talked about it.
We've talked about it. We've talked about it.
But you know, this is just like the full extended version.
Yeah, I'm sure you could piece like most of the pieces together. And yeah. But since we talked last, he did make Barash a little holy symbol that he did not wear.
Yeah, because if I remember narratively, basically, Preaches had just talked to him just like, hey, the gods are shit, don't believe in anything. And then as he's walking out the door, Rogar and Preaches like pass by, and Rogar's like, hey, I have a holy symbol of Bahamut. And Barash is just like,
And that was 100% just to be like, look, don't really vibe with Bahamut, but you seem to have been happy about it, so here, I will give you this to support you, and yeah, you do you. Cool.
Meanwhile, Tyrell's like, "Woo, go Bahamut! He's a good guy." That's a very spicy campaign as well.
That's a very spicy campaign.
Not spicy in the way that we want our OCs to smooch, but spicy in the way that our OCs all.
I'm sorry. Do you not think that Rogar and Tyrell are gonna smooch?
I do not think that at all. Not even the tiniest bit.
No, God no. But
Tyrell will never smooch anyone ever because no one is good enough for Tyrell in Tyrell's eyes.
No, we just raise a child together.
Yeah, we just raise a. We're co-parenting, but it's a very unloving relationship. No, Tyrell isn't. He doesn't hate Rogar. There was a point where he kind of like mistrusted him, but he still like put his life on the line for Rogar more than once because he's a paladin of Bahamut. Why would he not? But
because he's a closet Tiamat worshiper.
Well, you know, if we ever cross that bridge, you're gonna get holy smited. But
probably, I fully intend for him to like go back to Bahamut.
But you know,
I hope. I don't know. Like last time Bahamut was in the scene, he didn't want anything to do with Rogar. So it's like I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like the same situation. You're like, oh, I'm sure my fiance's dead, and then your fiance's alive, and then you get engaged for real.
Yep.
I'm sure it's one of those things.
Yep. I mean, I go in with all these plans, but then things don't go according to plans.
And that is what's fun about D&D. Things not going to plan.
Yeah. So we talked about pets. We talked about pretty much all of our experiences with pets. I don't know. We talked about smooching.
Yeah, we did talk about smooching. We did be. Oh, I don't know if we ever explicitly said in the episode, but you and Edmund did smooch.
Oh yeah, we smooched.
I meanwhile have gotten 0 smooches.
You have gotten no smooches.
No smooches. But who knows? I do have someone who would be interested in smooching me, so that's an avenue that could be explored.
Yes, that complicated quadrangle.
Otherwise known as a square.
Well, I'm going off of the Midsummer Night Dream love quadrangle. So
I've never read Midsummer Night Dream, which I should. I feel like I would enjoy it. But yeah,
it's good. It's good. It's got fairy lore, which is always good.
Ooh, which I'm always interested in. But yeah, I'm trying to think. So there's
Kylen is just doing a square and making all the connections. You can see the red yarn being strewn about on the corkboard.
I look like Charlie Day from the one episode of It's Always Sunny where he's just smoking a cigarette and he's got the yarn map set up and he's just crazed eyes. That's me figuring out this shipping. Who will smooch who? Oh man. Do we have anything else we want to talk about?
I think we can call that a shorter episode. Yeah, it'll make editing Connor a lot happier, and it'll probably make viewership a little bit better. Maybe in the future, in a season 2, we'll do a little bit shorter episodes, easier to churn out. But yeah.
Like in D&D, you can have these plans,
but they are not gonna last.
But then you add alcohol and 2 doofuses together, and then
things just go to shit.
Who knows? It's like rolling on the wild magic table. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's benign. Sometimes it's terrible. Sometimes you turn into a potted plant.
Sometimes you just turn into a potted plant. And then you get invited to Smash Brothers. But with that...
Oh, wait. Hang on. Let me do a little parkour real quick, and then we can call it an episode.
Do that parkour. Ooh. The wiggly. I'm going to call that a Ouija.
Yeah, I just did a double axle Ouija board.
Double axle Ouija board. Ouija jump.
Ugh.
I'm going to call this.
Wow.
The suffocation.
I'm going to call that a typical Tuesday night. Screaming into a pillow.
But yeah, as always, if you want to follow what we're doing, get context for half of the things we talk about during this episode, the games that we are currently in, and the channels that you can find them are down in the doobly-doo.
Why am I pointing? No one can see this.
No one can see this. This is an audio cast. I don't know.
Just put some hands on the screen. We did take a break, so I didn't make you do any bullshit. So just put some little hands on the screen, pointing.
I'll do a little emoji that's just pointing down. But
or maybe put a little crawling claw. Paruka. Good old
Connor. You have a job. But yeah, definitely follow us, and y'all have a good rest of your whatever this is.
Bye, lovelies.
This is a video on demand, so I don't know what time it is. But yeah, goodbye.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
We'll talk about it later.
We will certainly be back to talk about it later. Bye.